Welcome to Blues News Echo YouTube channel. Update news and stories of great club Chelsea FC. Chelsea are determined to win the race for Harry Kane this summer. Chelsea are reportedly looking to make Harry Kane their club record signing this summer, as the Tottenham Hotspur forward is looking to make a move elsewhere. Spurs have had a difficult season, which resulted in Jose Mourinho losing his job prior to the defeat against Manchester City in the EFL Cup final. Nevertheless, Harry Kane has continued to score goals despite the indifferent form of the rest of the team. He is currently the leading goal scorer in the 2020-21 Premier League. With Tottenham Hotspur failing to end their long wait for silverware, the forward may have to move elsewhere to do so. Looking to take advantage of the situation, the Blues could try bringing Kane to Stamford Bridge. As per Football Insider, Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel wants the club to break their transfer record to snap up Harry Kane this summer. Despite reaching 2 cup finals this season, Chelsea can improve further under Tuchel. Their goal-scoring department perhaps needs a bit of a revamp, so Kane would be the ideal signing. Kane's tally of 21 Premier League goals this season is more than the combined tallies of Timo Werner, Olivier Giroud, and Tammy Abraham. The Englishman would also suit Tuchel's setup and could perhaps make them title contenders next season. Tuchel has transformed Chelsea as a unit, and their defensive rigidity has got them to 2 cup finals. However, to challenge for the league, they would need a striker who can score at least 20 goals a season. The quartet of Werner, Abraham, Mason Mount and Jorginho have all scored 6 goals apiece and are currently the leading goal scorers for the Blues this season. Roman Abramovich and co. will have to splurge the cash to sign Kane, though. Daniel Levy is a tough negotiator, and considering Kane has 3 more years on his Tottenham Hotspur contract, only a bid in excess of £100 million could force the club into selling their best player. Chelsea could come up with that kind of money but may have to get rid of some of the fringe players from their squad first. At 27, Kane is at the peak of his prowess, and signing him this summer would definitely be a massive statement of intent by Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel has discovered his latest Chelsea undroppable following late win against Man City. Chelsea moved one step closer towards securing a top 4 finish in the Premier League this season with a 2-1 win over Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. Match of the day pundit Alan Shearer waxed lyrical about the performance of Chelsea defender Reece James following the Blues' 2-1 win over Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium on Saturday evening. The Blues, who moved up to 3rd place with a 3rd consecutive Premier League victory, came from a goal down to beat the Premier League champions-elect, with left-sided wing-back Marcos Alonso netting a dramatic stoppage-time winner. Hakim Ziyech had already cancelled out Raheem Sterling's opener, rifling in a low, powerful effort from the edge of the box that was too hot for Ederson in the City goal to handle. But Chelsea were determined to leave with all 3 points in the bag, and so it proved when Spaniard Alonso turned in Timo Werner's low cross. Hailing his side's second-half efforts, Chelsea head coach Thomas Tuchel said, "It was a tactical match and you could see, well, I had the feeling that we were a bit tired, a bit slow in decision-making, a bit too rushed in decisions, rushed into our attacks, we lost the ball too early, but there was no big problem. At halftime we said to ourselves, let's continue like it is 0-0, don't lose our heads now because of the last 3 minutes, take it as a 0-0 and from there we go." They stepped up and tried to play with courage, to have more possession in their half, and this is what they did. The momentum changed completely with the goal. I could feel it, the momentum was growing, the confidence was growing, and we were adding more and more quality and pressure. We never stopped attacking. I am very aware and I will never deny that you need a little bit of luck in any match in football, and we had it in the second half. It is a huge win, big reaction and a fantastic team performance in the second half. It is what it is. After the break, Chelsea most certainly stepped up their efforts, as they began to press City higher up the pitch and look to make good use of both Alonso and James in the wing-back positions. The duo were 2 of 5 changes Tuchel opted to make to the side that defeated Real Madrid on Wednesday evening, coming into the side to replace Thiago Silva and Ben Chilwell, respectively. Whilst it may have been Alonso that netted the all-important winner, Shearer heaped special praise on the shoulders of James, who he described as being magnificent during the second 45. Reece James, who I thought, particularly in the second half, was magnificent, gave Benjamin Mendy a torrid time, Shearer told BBC Sports Match of the Day. His pace, his drive and his quality to get up there. They couldn't handle him. There were at least 3 or 4 occasions when he was able to do that. But when he is doing that, he is pulling everyone else up there with him. It was great skill to get into that position, and there is his teammate on the other side, Alonso. With both of them getting in there, the penalty area, James is actually looking for him and trying to pick him out. His first thought is to get past Benjamin Mendy and get it in there. It is a great ball and, Marcos, Alonso is unlucky not to get to it. Thomas Tuchel has turned Chelsea into an unstoppable force of nature. Given the troubles that blighted Frank Lampard's second season at Stamford Bridge, you'd be forgiven for thinking that Tuchel would need several months to get the Blues back on track. However, clearly Roman Abramovich's heavy spending last summer just needed Tuchel's arrival to unlock its quality, because Chelsea are on the verge of an astonishing 2020-21 campaign. The West London club overcame Atletico Madrid, FC Porto and Real Madrid to book themselves a place in the Champions League final, and domestic football has been equally as kind. Besides, Chelsea will have the chance for more silverware in the FA Cup final against Leicester City, and they're entering the final weeks of the Premier League season as heavy top 4 favourites. And that couldn't have been any clearer than when Chelsea secured an impressive 2-1 win at the home of soon-to-be champions Manchester City on Saturday night. Goals from Hakim Ziyech and Marcos Alonso overhauled Raheem Sterling's opening strikers. Tuchel once again outwitted Pep Guardiola in a tactical chess match. As a result, Tuchel can now put his feet up and enjoy one of the finest Premier League records ever established by a new manager, remarkably losing just one of his 16 matches in the competition. It's a fantastic record that places Tuchel amongst the very best coaches that the Premier League has ever seen, and only Guardiola can lay claim to a better points per game ratio in the division. You really did read that right, because on the back of Tuchel's latest masterclass, we turned to Transfermarkt to see how his statistics rank within the Premier League's 29-year history. And of all the managers to have coached at least 5 games in the top division since its 1992 rebranding, Tuchel's average of 2.19 points per game impressively ranks him in second place. That's pretty good going, I'm sure you'll agree, so be sure to check out who's breathing down Tuchel's neck as some of the all-time Premier League bosses most familiar with that winning feeling. You know you're doing something right when you're above Sir Alex Ferguson, that's for sure. Now, the obvious caveat here is that it's still monumentally early days for Tuchel, and to say that Chelsea managers have a short lifespan would be the mother of all understatements. So, don't think for a second that Tuchel will necessarily be relaxing on the podium for seasons and seasons to come, but it really goes to show how brilliantly he's hit the ground running in England. However, it's certainly telling that it still sees him finish comfortably short of Guardiola, who will likely be considered second only to Ferguson when he wins his 3rd Premier League title in 4 years. And with the best points per game ratio of any head coach despite having managed in the competition for over 4 seasons, it's fair to say that Guardiola would deserve such lofty praise. Nevertheless, as yesterday's action at the Etihad Stadium goes to show, being one of the greatest managers of all time is futile when it comes to a one-off battle with Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel gives Andreas Christensen injury update after win versus Manchester City. Talking to Sky Sports, HTFootball.London, after Chelsea won against Manchester City, Thomas Tuchel provided an update on the injury suffered by Andreas Christensen just before half-time. The Danish defender was having a good game until a few minutes before half-time, where he lost his footing and let Gabriel Jesus in behind him. This resulted in City's opening goal, and Christensen was visibly in discomfort after he went to the ground. A few minutes later, he was deemed unable to continue due to an apparent hamstring injury and was brought off in place of Kurt Zouma. The 25-year-old has been a monstrous presence in Chelsea's backline since Thomas Tuchel came in. Andreas Christensen has been stellar for Chelsea this year. He was again trusted to start in the middle of a three-man Chelsea defence against the league leaders, but the game did not end well for him on a personal note. And the German manager is himself not sure about the extent of the injury, but hopes Christensen can come back soon, otherwise the win against City would be bittersweet. I hope that it's not too bad and he can recover in the next few days. I'm not sure, but this win would be absolutely bittersweet if it's a long injury. Tuchel's concern is understandable, and the fans have a reason to worry too, considering there is an FA Cup and a UEFA Champions League final coming later this month. The Blues have cover in defence, at least for now. Kurt Zouma, Thiago Silva, and Cesar Azpilicueta make for an able back three, but Christensen is a man in form and was vital to our rise in the past few weeks. The extent of the injury would be clearer in the coming days, and we can only hope he makes it in time for the two showpiece finals for the Blues.